Okay, so let's get into this video. I'm filming it in my bedroom today because this video is going to be me basically explaining how to learn how to do makeup, which sounds kind of funny, but I've actually never really seen a video of anyone explaining how they learn to do makeup. And I've heard a lot of people ask me, and I tell them, like, I learned makeup from YouTube, I watch tutorials, and people will always tell me, oh, like, it's hard, like, I can't follow it. They feel like it gets sort of confusing when you're just watching a tutorial of someone explaining it. So I'm gonna actually go through and explain how I actually learned how to do my makeup off of YouTube tutorials. So I'm just going to sort of talk about also, like, I'm showing you my makeup table because there's a couple other things that factor into how I learned how to do it. So the first thing is where you're actually doing your makeup, which is, for me, like, I've had this since I was in literally grade 4. I've had my little, like, makeup stand. I have my makeup out here. So this is actually where I learned how to do it. And I have my mirror, my big mirror, like my vanity mirror over here. And then what I use right now is I have this mirror that I got. My mom got me this for Christmas the other year. And it actually has like an LED light on it, but the batteries are almost dead, so it's not very bright right now. Oopsies. But I don't even really use the light half the time. But what is really important for me when I was learning is you can't learn how to do makeup by looking in a mirror this far away from your face. So what I do is I had my mirror like this, so I can see what I'm doing close to my face for attention to detail, like for your eyes and everything. But then I also have my mirror back there. So what I would do when I'm learning how to, like when I was learning how to do makeup, is I would do my makeup in my little mirror looking at my face, but then you still have to go back and check back with your big mirror. So I sort of have my like two perceptions right here because I can look and do all the details in the close mirror and focus on closely what I'm doing, and then this mirror also has like a magnifying side to it too if you find you like looking super close to be able to do the details and everything. But between steps and when I was doing like one eye and then I would do my other eye, you also have to look in your far mirror and be able to see from a further perspective because it totally changes the look of the makeup. Like, I'm sure everyone's had the experience of plucking their eyebrows before in the small mirror. You're doing it and you're like, okay, this is even, and then you back up and you're like, okay, no, this is not. So it's so different having the two perspectives, which I find is really important. Like, before I got this one, this one's kind of like a fancier version, but I just use like a mirror like this, like a little hand mirror, and I just kind of sit it here so I can see like what I'm doing close, and then I still have that far view, which I find is really important, and no one really talks about that, but that's how you're gonna make your makeup look even in the end, because like I said, like super close it might look even, and then when you're backing up it's not always going to be the same on both eyes. One might be darker, you know what I mean. It'll just help you to sort of make sure everything looks good from afar too. One of the other things I wanted to talk about was lighting. Ideally, I find natural lighting is the best lighting for you to learn how to do makeup with, just because it really brings out the colors, like makes everything a lot more precise in my opinion. So if I'm doing it during the day, like right now I have my window open all the way. Ideally, it would be nice to be in front of my mirror, but just because of how my room's set up, I can't really put my table like directly in front, and then I wanted to have my mirror too. So I just sort of make do with this for now, and it's fine. Like, I just sort of turn myself when I'm doing makeup, like I'll kind of turn myself facing towards the natural light so you can see from the natural lighting. I find it brightens it a lot more, as if you're just using like the light in your room. It doesn't always, it kind of casts shadows on your face. And if I'm doing my makeup at night when the sun is down, I also have like this little light here. It's not even plugged in right now, that's good. But I have this little light here, and it's just sort of like a little lamp so I can shine it on my face. So I'll just sort of like turn my light and actually point it like sort of at my face so that it's not casting a shadow from this light, because the overhead lighting, it's going to be casting a shadow down on your face, so it won't always give you the most accurate, like it's going to kind of shadow your makeup. So sometimes I've done my makeup with just that light, and then I go in the bathroom with the bright lights and I'm like, oh my god, like it's not even, or it's not how I wanted it to look. So this one, I find like when you're shining it towards your face, like I'll kind of put my mirror here. When I'm shining it towards my face, it sort of highlights my face from the front, similar to the natural lighting, not as good, but sort of like a makeshift when I'm doing my makeup at night if I'm going out or something like that. And then the main point of this video, like the final thing I really want to talk about, is actually learning to use tutorials to benefit you by watching them properly, because I've heard people say like they watch tutorials and they get frustrated because they can't follow along with what they're doing, or it just doesn't really make sense to them. For me, the way that I learned to do makeup off of tutorials is by actually putting my makeup, so like I have all my makeup in front of me, I'm watching the tutorial at the same time that I'm practicing my makeup. So if there's a look that you want to practice, you're going to have to set aside time to actually take the time to be able to go through and practice your makeup as you're watching the tutorial, because in my opinion it's kind of useless to just watch the tutorials. I mean, I used to do that too, but it doesn't really benefit you in any way to just watch the tutorials and not actually be practicing and following along with it, because you can see it, but then when you go to do it, you're not going to have that same guidance, and it's not really going to benefit you in the same way it would as if you were actually sitting here doing your makeup at the same time as watching the tutorials. So that's why I put my iPad here, so I can kind of show you like what I would do. You can use your phone, like laptop, whatever, it doesn't really matter, whatever you're watching your videos on. But I basically have like my iPad here watching the tutorial. As I'm watching the tutorial, I'm doing my makeup at the same time, so I can see what the person in the video is doing, and then I can do the same steps on my eyes at the same time. And just a disclosure, tutorials are around like 15 minutes on YouTube, give or take, depending what look you're doing. It is never going to take anyone 15 minutes to do their makeup. I take like an hour to do my makeup if I'm taking a long time and doing everything like full out glam, which is like what most of these videos are explaining. So you have to go through and you have to pause the video. You can't just watch it once and then expect that when you do it, it's going to be perfect. What I would do is watch the video. Say, for example, they're starting with their foundation and then they're doing their like contour and everything. Every single step that the person in the video is doing, I'm following along with it, and until I'm done the step that they just did, I'm gonna pause the video and I'm gonna wait, finish my makeup. They're putting on their foundation. I'm gonna put my foundation on. It's gonna probably be sped up, it's gonna be faster. I'm gonna pause the video after they're finished their foundation, finish my foundation, and then wait until I'm ready to do the next step and sort of follow along with the person, which I found was like the best way for me to learn how to do makeup. Because if you're just watching it and trying to do it at the same time, like you're just gonna get lost and you're gonna get overwhelmed and it's gonna be frustrating. But pausing the video, and it's gonna be something that you're gonna have to practice on your own and sort of figure out how many steps you can go through before you have to pause it. But as soon as you feel like you are getting behind in what they're doing in the tutorial, just pause it, catch up to what they're doing, and then continue watching it. See what they explain to do, pause it, and then practice what they're doing. And you have to do it sort of at the same time so you can really get the most out of the video, because like I said, like just watching it, it's not really going to help you that much. So I wanted to make this video to sort of explain the way that I'm going to create my videos, because I want to do it in a different way than what I've seen on YouTube previously. Like I've learned so much from them, but I want to make it a little bit easier for people to learn how to do makeup. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create my videos, and I'm going to sort of give you sections where you can pause the video and you can kind of catch up to what I'm doing. I'm going to tell you where to pause and what to be doing as I'm doing it, but this is just going to help you to learn how to do it with anyone else's tutorials. You can do this with like not even just makeup, like basically any tutorials that you're watching. Like that's the best way to kind of get the most out of it, which I feel like it seems kind of simple, but it's something that no one has really ever explained. So if you've never really thought to do it in that way, you might not necessarily know that you're going to get the most out of it by doing it that way. So this is just sort of like a short video, and it sounds kind of simple, but I feel like it's really going to help a lot of people to actually be able to get the most potential out of learning from watching videos, because in my opinion, I feel like it's the best way to learn makeup, because you don't have, like, of course you can get taught by someone else, but for me, that was the easiest way to learn, because there's no one interfering with what you're doing. Like if someone is showing you what they're doing, their hands are in your face, they're showing you what you're doing, you can't really see it as well. But if you're watching someone doing their makeup on themselves and then you're copying exactly what they're doing it at the same time, you have full range of motion. There's no one hands in your face. You're copying someone and you're watching them actually doing it on themselves, which I find is really important, because the way that you do makeup on someone else, like someone else is gonna the way that a makeup artist is going to do it on someone else and the way that they're going to do it on themselves is completely different. So if you're trying to learn how to do makeup on yourself, it's really beneficial to be watching someone practicing on themselves and you're going through the motions at the same time as them and just sort of practicing and going through it. And like I said, it's not ever going to be perfect the first time you try it. You might have to go through a tutorial a few times, but at least this way you're able to sort of pick up the techniques that they're using and you're able to get the most out of the video. So you might already know this, but for those of you who don't know, I feel like this video will really help you to learn how to watch my tutorials that I'm going to be making, and also you can apply this same knowledge to anyone else's videos and be able to get the most out of them. So there you have it. This is where the magic happened. I learned how to do all my makeup here, and that's just what has worked for me. So hopefully I'll be able to help some of you guys by kind of explaining that I've never really seen someone explain that before. So hopefully you guys will be able to improve what you're learning when you're watching videos. Thanks. Bye.